Hi everyone, my name's Nina and today I am back with my July wrap-up. In the month of July, I finished five books, and I'm here to share them with you. So we're just gonna go through the stack, not in any specific order, and just talk about what I read. To start off, I read The Chain by Adrian McKinty. I love this cover. Somebody donated this book to the library, and we're not currently taking donations, and so I went through the stack first and I took home a bunch of books, and then once we take donations again, I will just redonate them after I'm finished reading them. So this was one of those books. I saw this on BookTube and I loved the concept of it, so when I saw that someone donated it in pretty much brand new condition, I was so stoked to finally read this book. So basically, this book deals with this big organization called The Chain, and you have to, your child gets kidnapped, and for your child to be returned safely to you, you have to kidnap another child and keep this chain going. And I thought that was a really interesting concept and really thrilling. I was so ready for this. I would give this about 4 stars. Overall, it was a really good read. I did find it thrilling and fun and suspenseful. I liked our characters, but there was just a couple hitches. I feel like there could have been improvements in different areas, and then there was like a couple different things that kind of annoyed me. One of those things being, I felt like this book relied heavily on social media and kind of relying on the trope or the stereotype that middle-aged women just spend all day on Facebook and update their status every 2 minutes about exactly where they are, what they're doing, what their children are doing, etc. And I just don't feel like that's very realistic. I don't feel like a lot of people in general, I don't think the majority of people use Facebook in that way. I'm not Facebook friends with anyone who even like updates their status daily, let alone every 2 minutes. And usually it's a bunch of memes on Facebook. It's not even like statuses. But like, I feel like it relied heavily on that to know exactly how they're gonna kidnap this child and when's the best time to do it. I also feel like Marty was portrayed as this great guy, and I don't think he was a great guy. I think he did like basic shit, like, oh, I treat my ex-wife like a human being and still care about my child even though we're divorced. Like, we shouldn't congratulate you for that. That's what you should be doing, you know? I don't know. Overall, those little tiny things bothered me, but overall the book itself was really good. I thought it was great. I feel like it could have been expanded more. I wish we would have got more perspectives from the head leaders of the chain. I felt like there wasn't enough there. You really got more in the second half about that, but I still felt like there could have been more. I liked that this jumped around with different like perspectives. You got to see every character and their thought process. So that was good. And that is all I have to say about this book. 4 out of 5 stars. Then I read this itty bitty tiny book called Crow Girl by Kate Can. I really liked the cover of this. Again, this was something I got from my library. They deleted this from our systems. So it was withdrawn, and I found it in the book sale room, and I said, you know what, let's take it home. I really like this cover. So it deals with this girl in high school that kind of feels like an outcast. And one day she goes through the woods and she meets these crows, and she starts to train these crows to follow her commands, kind of like how you train a dog. And then she gets invited to this popular guy's party, and it's Halloween, and she dresses up as a crow and has this big showcase of, hey, these crows follow my commands, and kind of freaks everybody out a little bit, like a cool party trick, and then becomes kind of cool, I guess. I thought it was a weird concept for a book. This is supposed to be a series, I guess. There's like 3 others, but I think you can read this as a standalone. It's very short, very teeny tiny, very fast read, but nothing really spectacular. It's just a bland contemporary to me. I would give this like a 2 out of 5. Nothing really great, but I mean, it wasn't terrible. I just didn't feel like there was a story to be told here. Next, we have Remember Me by Sophie Kinsella. I have read 2 other Sophie Kinsella books. Finding Audrey, which is her first or only YA book. I really liked that as a teen. And then last year, I believe, I read a Sophie Kinsella book called Can You Keep a Secret? And I really enjoyed that. So I had this on my bookshelf. I think I also bought this from my library's book sale room, but I'm not 100% sure. But because I liked Can You Keep a Secret so much, I decided to give this one a try this month. I didn't like this one as much. I would give this like a 2.5 or a 3 stars. It was okay, nothing great. It was a basic contemporary romance for me. It deals with this young woman who has kind of been on the lower end of life, you know, like the outcast, the average Joe type of person. And then she has a car accident and she can't remember the last 3 years of her life. And in these last 3 years, she's totally done a 180 and become a completely different person. She is the big honcho at her job. She's successful. She's married to this like really rich, handsome husband. And she feels like she's not herself. She's a completely new person. Her diet is completely different. Her interests are completely different. And she doesn't understand what's happened in those 3 years that she can't remember. It has a little romance where you get to see her little affair, I guess. I don't even remember the ending of this, but I feel like I was unsatisfied with the ending. It wasn't spicy enough for me. I thought it was going to be more romantic and spicy. I didn't get that feel. It was just more of a basic contemporary rather than a contemporary romance in my mind. And that's all I really have to say about it. It was okay. It was just more like this girl figuring out her life to me rather than a romance that I was really ready for. Then we have Who is Maud Dixon by Alexandra Andrews. I was really excited for this. This was another one that was donated with this book to my library. This person dropped off a shit ton of books. After we told them, hey, we're not accepting donations right now, they did it anyway. And all of these books were relatively new, great condition, almost all of them fantastic condition, and almost all of them were 2019 or 2020. I believe this was released this year, actually, 2021. So I was really excited. My library decided to keep this in their system, so this is a book that I have to return, but nonetheless, I was excited and I took it home with me to read it. So this is an adult fiction, I would say kind of like a suspense book, kind of contemporary. It read very contemporary for most of the book, and then towards the end turned into more like a mystery suspense. Like there was hints of that throughout the book, and then the end it all kind of unfolds. So it deals with Maud Dixon, this really famous yet anonymous writer. This is a #1 bestseller writer who is writing under the pseudonym Maud Dixon, and nobody knows who it is. Our main character gets hired as Maud Dixon's assistant, and they go on this trip to somewhere, Mexico or something? I don't know. They go somewhere on this trip to prepare to write Maud Dixon's next book. And then an accident happens, and our main character kind of takes the identity of Maud Dixon. I gave this book like a 3 stars. It was good. I enjoyed it, and I read through it relatively fast. But it wasn't as good as I expected. And I honestly didn't know what this book was about. I just know that I saw it on BookTube and people were recommending it, and I really liked the cover. So I had no idea like what this was about at all. So since it read as a contemporary most of the book, I thought it was going to be just kind of a general contemporary, and then it turned into a mystery / like suspense type of book, which I like. My favorite genre is thrillers, so I like that it was leaning towards more as a mystery. But yeah, I gave it a 3 out of 5. It was good. It wasn't great. But the end of the book, like the second half of the book, was much better for me. I also read one graphic novel this month. I read Olympian series. This is the first book that's called Zeus, King of Gods. It has some really great artwork. So if you're into mythology, this is a great place to start. This is a whole series. I know my library has like 5 of them or something, so I'm gonna continue reading these, I think. But this first book kind of gives you just the generic overview of the beginning of Zeus and the family and becoming the Olympians, and whatnot. I thought the art was good. I thought the story was good. Overall, 3 out of 5. Not my favorite type of book, but it was interesting. If you're into mythology, you'll probably like this. I'm not that into it. So the last thing I have to show you is The Bone Witch. This was not something I finished, so I do not count this as a book I read. I read 74 pages and then I gave up because it didn't seem like my type of tea. This is a young adult fantasy book, and I was really looking for a fun YA fantasy that my library had the whole series to, and my library does have the whole series to this, and I thought this cover was really intriguing, but it wasn't really my thing. I can't tell you a whole lot about what it's about because I don't even remember. I know it's about different types of witches, and our main character is a bone witch, which is frowned upon heavily where she is raised, and pretty much she can bring people back from the dead, but she also has other powers of being able to like read people's hearts or something like that. I don't remember. I can't rate this for you because I didn't finish it. I barely got through any of it. I read 74 pages. I might pick this up again in the future, but I don't see myself reading it this month or anytime soon. So yeah, this is what I have read in the month of July. Comment down below and let me know what you read, or if you've read any of these and what you thought about them. What did you think of my ratings and your opinions? And I hope you have a wonderful day. Bye!